homestand didn't start any better the other night. Somewhat of an embarrassing loss, and I think the players feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely they do. I mean, the score didn't read it, but I think that was just as bad as the 7-1 loss in Florida. It felt just as bad.
What is some of the things that you're seeing early on here? They played, they got off to a nice start. It looked like, all right, here's the team with a little energy. What are some of the things in that Western Canada trip that started to go wrong?
Well, I really think that it's been kind of the same stuff all season long. The reason why the talk about the slow start went away a little bit this year is because they got the win in Game 3 instead of Game 5. But if you extrapolate this out to what they did last year at this point, they had 7 wins at this point last year, which was a non-playoff year where nobody was very happy about, and not a lot of things went right. This year, what do they have 5 wins right now, I think? I mean, there's just not a whole lot going on anywhere. The goaltending hasn't been a problem for, that's been kind of a constant since Steve Mason got here. And Michael Neuvirth took the ball from him the last week. But now Mason's back, and I wouldn't anticipate there being any goalie problem now. There hasn't been for, like I said, the last couple of seasons. But aside from that, nothing's really been working. Obviously, goal scoring is down. They're tied for dead last in the league in scoring goals. In terms of goals per game, they're second worst. Jake Voracek, he's gone 15 games now without a goal, but he's been shooting the puck. So I don't think there's a ton of problems there, despite the fact that he's getting a lot of headlines because he hasn't gotten the goal. I think he's going to get one, soon, and they'll probably pile on, but it's not like there's no effort from him or even that line. Claude Giroux's played well. Michael Rassel's played okay. But outside of that, there's just not a lot to write home about. This defense is still no good. They're still old and slow. There's just I think this was the expectation, to be honest with you. I thought that they would be close to a playoff team, but now they're not even sniffing it.
Dave Isaac, the Courier Post. You can read his stuff on our website, too, at 973ESPN.com. Dave, obviously the coach is making a transition from college to pro. How is he being received? I saw a lot of reports that the practice was very tough the other day. So how is Dave Hakstol being received?
Well, so far, so good from the players' standpoint. I'm sure they would have preferred a better start to the season to see how he reacts during wins. But from everything that I've heard about this guy, from the day the Flyers hired him to now, he's probably going to act the same when they're on a 5-game winning streak as they are them losing 7 out of their last 8 games. He's a guy that doesn't show a lot of emotion, at least on the surface. But the players say that this is the guy that they can play for. If he continues to be Captain Blood and bag skating them in practice and doing, one-on-one and 2-on-2 battle drills where they're expected to go full contact, we'll see how it goes after 3 or 4 of those practices.
Yeah, and obviously the team struggling, as you mentioned, to score, and that's something that seems like they keep harping on ways they want to try to, get some more offense. Is this, they do have guys who have been able to put the puck in the net in the past. Is it a surprise? You mentioned their defense isn't very good, but is it a surprise that they're struggling on offense?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent. I think that they thought that they had the personnel here that was able to put the puck in the net with more regularity than is happening now, certainly. I mean, Wayne Simmons, I believe, has 2 goals on the season, both on the power play, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a guy that's got to get going 5-on-5. There was a lot of talk about Sean Couturier at the beginning of the year that maybe this would be the year that he picks things up offensively. That hasn't quite happened yet, although his season's been interrupted by a concussion, and I think he's 3 or 4 games back from that, so he's, to an extent, kind of finding his groove still. But there just hasn't been much outside of that. Brayden Schenn has had a couple of goals here and there. Scott Lawton, I don't believe, has found the back of the net yet. The fourth line has been playing well defensively, but certainly not offensively. Vinny LeCavalier hasn't found the back of the net. Sam Gagner has a little bit, but he's cooled off too. He was kind of on a hot start to begin the year, but every time the Flyers wanted to take him out of the lineup, somebody else got hurt. So he's been staying in, and nobody's been scoring recently. But yeah, Ron Hakstol said this morning if somebody told him that the power play was going to be as bad as it is, and it's ranked 27th in the league, yeah, he would have been surprised. And in terms of the scoring offense as a whole, he would be surprised because he said there's talent here. It's just not being used correctly.
Dave Isaac at Dave G. Isaac on Twitter. The Flyers and the Capitals tonight. That's on our sister station, WPG Talk Radio 1450, as the Flyers try to snap out of this funk. It started back with that game in Jersey. Then they had Buffalo, two teams that aren't very good. Colorado's not a very good team. So they're losing some games that are winnable games here. So let's see if they can get back on track against the Capitals tonight. Dave, enjoy the game tonight, pal.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.